Welcome to this course titled Differentiation, as designed and produced by the Region 11 Service Center. In this course, you'll learn about differentiation, specifically the importance of learner profiles, methods for differentiating, and instructional strategies to differentiate in the classroom. At the conclusion of this module, you'll have an opportunity to demonstrate your understanding of the stated learning objective by participating in a demonstration lab that's sponsored by Region 11 certification team. During the demonstration lab, you'll present a 10-minute mini lesson in which you show your understanding of differentiation by presenting and explaining a tiered, differentiated activity that you create for a mock class of students. You'll receive feedback based on the proficiency rubric you see on the screen. To earn credit for this module, you must score at the proficient or master's level. There's not one text to read for this module, but there are several linked articles and websites. On certain slides, you'll need to click on the pop-ups on the screen to access these resources. So, what is differentiation anyways? What does it mean in the field of education? In her book, The Differentiated Classroom, Carol Ann Tomlinson writes, "Classrooms grounded in best practice education and modified to be responsive to student differences benefit virtually all students. Differentiation addresses the needs of struggling and advanced learners. It addresses the needs of students for whom English is a second language and students who have strong learning style preferences. It addresses gender differences and cultural differences. It pays homage to the truth that we are not born to become replicas of one another." ASCD, known as the Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development, produced this infographic to define what differentiation is and is not. Click on the pop-up on this screen to gain access to a larger version of these images. Why is differentiation important to understand as a new teacher? Well, differentiation is a key concept for all Texas teachers to understand, and it's had its own domain in the T-TEST, Teacher Appraisal rubric. Teachers are observed and assessed on the above specific actions related to differentiation. So, how do you even differentiate? Well, you could pause the video now and read the article about elements of a differentiated curriculum that shows up when you click on the pop-up. As you read this article, think about 3 methods of differentiating that it describes. Pause the video and take a close look at this infographic. The visual depicts the relationships of different components of differentiation. You could access a larger version of this if you click on the pop-up on the screen. The first step teachers must take to differentiate is to learn about their students. Interests, learning preferences, readiness, and specific learning needs all inform differentiation. The Universal Design for Learning, or UDL, is an excellent resource for thinking about the different ways students learn. Access the UDL Guidelines PDF by clicking on the pop-up. You'll also see a link for you to find and explore the UDL website. Alright, let's pause to check for understanding. At this time, pause and click on the practice quiz pop-up to see what you may need to review before you start looking at specific strategies for differentiation. Hope the previous exercise was beneficial. Again, let's think. What are some instructional strategies that teachers use to differentiate? Carol Ann Tomlinson provides several instructional strategies that may be used frequently or occasionally to support differentiation. Click on the pop-up and check out this document titled Tomlinson's Instructional Strategies that Support Differentiation. Alright, we've got another resource that'll help put much of this info into context. Pause this presentation, click on the pop-up, and watch the Teaching Channel video. Reflection is the key for teachers to continue to grow. These pathfinders are reflection questions that can help a teacher reflect on his or her differentiation practices. So what does a tiered activity look like? Check out this example for a third grade language arts TEK. Notice that all students are still accessing the same objective, but that their learning needs, readiness, and learning preferences are still considered in the content, process, and product for this learning. Think about this quote by Carol Ann Tomlinson. "A great coach never achieves greatness for himself or his team by working to make all his players alike." How do you think this applies to teachers and differentiation in the classroom? At the conclusion of this module, you'll have an opportunity to demonstrate your learning of the stated learning objective by participating in a demonstration lab sponsored by Regional 11 Certification Team. During the demonstration lab, you'll present a 10-minute mini lesson in which you show your understanding of differentiation by presenting and explaining a tiered differentiated activity that you create for a mock class of students. You'll receive feedback based on the proficiency rubric you see on the screen. To earn credit for this module, you must score at the proficient or master's level. The following slides contain some helpful tips as you prepare for your mini lesson. Spend the first 2 minutes introducing a new concept or skill tied to a TEK and learning objective. Then, plan to spend 5 to 6 minutes describing the tiered activity for that learning objective and the different methods of differentiation you used. Finally, plan to spend 2 to 3 minutes checking for understanding and clarifying any questions your students may have about the activity and the options. You got this! Look over the rubric and think about the skills you've practiced in the other modules. If you need any more resources, check out some of these links. There's a pop-up for a website with numerous resources and links. There's also a link to access Carol Ann Tomlinson's website and a link for more differentiation strategies. This module referenced the book The Differentiated Classroom. Images were from Pixabay, Unsplash, and 123RF.